Welcome to AP Workshops, welcome to Living With Series Gen 1 early 98 to 2000 RSV. So welcome back to AP Workshops, welcome back to the original, as far as I'm concerned, the original bad boy. So this, as far as I can remember, casting mind back and stuff, this is the first bike I can ever remember seeing with Öhlins forks, Brembo brakes, OZ wheels, like kind of the whole original sort of superbike thing that came with all the exotic stuff. This here is the first one that I can remember seeing. I remember looking at it in a dealership and thinking, like, my God, look at this spec on that kind of thing, and looking at the cost of the bike in the first instance, and thinking, literally, I think at the time it was ZX7s and R1s and that kind of stuff were all kind of were like taking over the world, Fireblades, that kind of stuff. They were absolutely on fire at this particular point in time. But looking at this kind of bike as it sits here at the moment, this was kind of as it came, this was kind of the original sort of in the Aprilia world anyway, sort of like the original bad boy. So this bike here is a 2000R. So this, I think, is probably one of the most fast appreciating models in the range at this particular point. This bike belongs to Paul. I spoke to Paul yesterday. Last week. We did a bit of work on this bike for Paul just to try and get it right for him. He's bought it. It's absolutely wonderful. If you have a quick look at it, it's super clean. Even if you have a quick look down underneath the fairing inside, that's been looked after by somebody who's pretty obsessive about what's going on there. So really, really chuffed to be able to ride this one, no problem whatsoever. So stop rallying, let's have a go.
Let's go!
So I won't lie to you, I have actually ridden this bike before. I've ridden this bike before on a road test as it goes. So I'm asked out, just going to go and check this one. We're going to do a quick short test on this one just so we know what's going on. I'm just going to go up and do the short road test route on this one just to check and make sure that the clutch isn't slipping, because that's what it was all about before. The clutch was slipping, the brakes were terrible, the gear lever was in the wrong place, so there was a couple of little odds and sods that needed dealing with just to make it sort of absolutely 100% correct, or sort of suitable to go out the workshop anyway. That's what we were looking for at this point in time. But early, so kind of basically the early RSVs, the engines tended to feel a little bit more rattly than the standard ones. If you pull the clutch in on this, on the early ones, the 98 to 2000, so they were 2001, they modified, or they kind of they modified the clutch basket design. So if you can see the the kind of, when you pull the clutch in, it stops rattling or it goes quieter. You'll notice it, you'll see it when it's out there. Or if you hold it and pull the clutch in, it's nothing to worry about. It's probably never going to get any worse. One of those things. But do you know what? It's one of those things that can kind of make people think, oh, what's all that about? New brakes on this, so we've got to bed some new brakes in as well.
Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob!
Yeah. Won't go into neutral, let's stand still. Standard. There you go. Up into second, down into neutral. You know how it goes. Let's have a look. Okay, and away we go. I love these engines. I absolutely love these engines, man. The feel of them, the drive, the mid-range. It just, coming from a two-stroke background, which is what I have done in the past, I kind of, you dance a lot on a two-stroke gearbox to keep it in the power. With these, you don't have to do anything like that at all. It's just absolute. They make you lazy. They make you lazy. They make you lazy, but you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. There we go. Beautiful. Weather's glorious, and this bike is handling now. Let's just see how the because we're about to just bed some brakes in. Make sure the brakes are okay. Make sure the clutch isn't slipping. We'll see what's going on that neck of the woods. Yeah. And if you can feel what's going on. Just as I'm going along, just giving the brakes a little bit of a squeeze just to make sure what's happening. Man, this motor feels nice. just the mid-range, just the absolute mid-range going on with this, just how it, just that mid-range punch off of a V-twin engine. I just love the V-twin. It's such a great road bike. The V4s are mental. They're fantastic bits of kit, but they're just so fast. It's ridiculous, like so fast. I mean, am I starting to sound old? Maybe that's the case, I don't know. But so what I'm going to do, just to test this clutch, right, let's put it into, I think that's probably about 4th. Yes, brakes are good, gear lever feels nice, yes, the clutch isn't slipping. Paul, your bike's wicked, mate. I love it. Do you know what, I'm going to sneak a little bit of an extra ride in.
Oh, go on then.
The weather's too nice, it's a beautiful day out. So for those of us in the northern hemisphere, we're actually doing okay for weather at the moment. For those guys down in the southern hemisphere, New Zealand, Australia especially, we've got a lot of friends down in New Zealand and Australia. It's coming, guys. I don't want it to go too quick, but it's coming, guys. I spoke to my pal Dave Ward from Australia. He's a clever Aprilia guy. I spoke to him about it, and he's well pissed off with all of the shitty weather, and I don't blame him at all. So let's have one more go. I think that's 2nd, so let's go back to 4th and see what they can do for us. Or are they just gonna, yeah, there you go, just sit in the outside lane. That's how it works up here. Okay, yeah, that held it good. I just thought I'd take you along with a road test, living with series. Let's do it. Oh, the brakes are nice, man. So we're using EBC 3224. Are they 3224s? Yeah, I'm sure they're the 3224s. The double H compound EBCs are great road pads, just good road pads. Let's go again. Yeah. That's lovely. That's handling. That's a much better. That's a much nicer ride now, that one. Clutch isn't slipping. What are we talking about? I think the front suspension's probably got a little bit too much preload on it. I can feel it just wiggling the front end a touch. Yes, and again, go, you see, I can talk to you while it's flat out, whereas on a V4 I'd just be like, oh my god. Yeah, I don't trust you as far as I could throw you, mate, but thank you anyway. You know what I'm talking about, you ride bikes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that stay there thing. Perfect. I just want to check. I can feel a little bit of knocking from the front end, so I just want to have a look and just make sure that the suspension or the steering head isn't a little bit loose. Just feel it. So every time you go over a bump, there's a little bit of you can just feel a tiny little knocking. So I'll check what that is when I get in. See what I mean? I haven't changed gear since we came out of the fast bit. It's just sitting there and it'll just ride through it. That is the kind of thing that this engine flatters you with. It makes you lazy.
So lazy.
Makes you lazy. So look, I suppose I should be talking about the aftermarket for this, but anybody that's looking at these videos and anybody that's looking at these these bikes knows there's a massive aftermarket scene for these bikes. The forums, the Facebook pages, there's tons of them. There are absolutely just lots of them that are going to give you some right information from the right people, the right time, coupled with good amounts of banter, because it ain't no fun if there ain't no banter in there. There's plenty of banter monkeys out there that are up for it. plenty of aftermarket. You can go onto websites and they're well catered for these bikes, no problems. Traffic jams, good God, good grief. Okay, what on earth? Oh, kids are off school, aren't they? There you go. Kids are off school, it gets busy. What the oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Look, there you go. Little wheelie. Oops. Easy on one of these. Oh. Better to be safe than sorry. Don't blame her. Flip flop. Massive. Look, the aftermarket is just, sorry, I kind of lost my way a little bit then. I just got all nostalgic with these bikes. They're just ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. Not much of a host. I'm not, if I can't talk. The aftermarket is absolutely heaving with this. We can help you, no questions whatsoever. You can get in touch with us. Sales at apworkshops.co.uk. We get through every email we can as quick as we can. You can go online, www.apworkshops.co.uk. We've got all of your technical manuals, tuning guides, we've got wiring diagrams, as many as we can, torque settings for your bikes, they're all there. We've got, like I said, tuning sections, servicing items, that kind of stuff. Go and have a look at the YouTube channel that you're looking at, or that you're on at the moment, if you're not, and you can see there's over 150 videos now, I believe, that are going to give you an indication on how or how to look after your bikes, that kind of stuff. It's all there. Thanks very much for getting in touch. A massive thanks to Motul Oils, RST Leathers. Look at this flashy jacket. It's all a bit flash for me, isn't it? Flashy jacket. ARAI helmets. Without these guys, give them a look up. We couldn't do it without them. Thanks very much, guys. Take care. Talk to you soon.